Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Let me ask you something that might sting a little. Why do some women destroy everything they once begged for right after they cheat? Why do they betray the man who gave them love, safety, and loyalty, only to end up crying over the very thing they ruined? It's not what you think. It's not just guilt, it's psychological chaos, a storm they can't control once they cross that line. Before we go deeper into this truth, most people are too afraid to discuss. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like this video, and turn on the bell, because what I'm about to reveal will change the way you see human behavior forever. Now, here's what men don't realize. When a woman cheats, it's rarely impulsive. It's emotional groundwork that's been building for weeks, months, sometimes years. But what destroys her after, what truly haunts her, isn't the act itself. It's what it reveals about her own identity. See, when a woman cheats, she creates a split within herself. One version of her is still that loving partner who once saw you as her safe place. The other version is a stranger who doesn't recognize herself anymore. And that's the mistake, the biggest one. She doesn't understand that cheating doesn't just betray a man, it kills the image she had of herself as a good woman. She can't look at herself in the mirror without seeing that fracture. At first, she'll justify it. He wasn't attentive enough. I was lonely. It just happened. But deep down, her subconscious starts working against her. Every smile feels fake. Every hug feels undeserved. Every moment of your kindness becomes unbearable because it reminds her of what she's done. And that's when it starts, the quiet unraveling. She'll distance herself emotionally because being around you feels like standing under a spotlight. She'll act cold, even irritated by your affection. She might say she needs space or that she's confused, but what's really happening is self-defense. She's protecting her ego from facing the truth, that she traded real love for validation that evaporated the second it was over. This is the cruel irony. She thought cheating would fill a void, but all it did was expose it. And once that happens, once she sees the emptiness behind that decision, she begins to lose something far deeper than your trust. She loses herself. Here's what most people don't talk about. After cheating, many women don't actually feel liberated. They feel trapped inside their own contradiction. The guilt doesn't always show up immediately. In fact, at first, it disguises itself as denial, confidence, even defiance. She'll act like she's fine, like she's moved on or grown. But inside, she's building emotional walls to keep her shame from leaking out. See, women are emotional architects. They build their identity through connection, through being loved and feeling seen. But when she betrays a man who truly cared, she betrays the foundation of who she believed she was. It's like she burns down her own home and then pretends the smoke isn't choking her. The biggest mistake women make after cheating is trying to normalize it. They tell themselves everyone makes mistakes, or men do it too. But that kind of emotional rationalization doesn't heal anything. It just delays the breakdown. Because deep down, she knows she crossed a line she can't uncross. She knows that even if she's forgiven, she can never experience your love the same way again. It's tainted by her own actions. And here's where psychology gets brutal. When she senses your pain, your distance, your changed energy, her mind doesn't translate it as, "I hurt him." It translates as, "I'm no longer safe with him." That's the internal chaos. She projects her guilt onto you. Suddenly, you become the problem. She might accuse you of being distant, emotionally unavailable, or cold, not realizing she's describing the mirror image of herself. That's how cycles of blame start. Not because she's heartless, but because shame has turned inward so deeply it's unbearable to face. So she builds distractions, new hobbies, new people, new versions of herself. She'll post about self-love and healing. But what she's really doing is trying to drown out the sound of her own conscience. Men often think a woman cheats and forgets. But the truth is, she remembers everything. The moment it happened, the rush, the fear, the instant realization that nothing would ever feel the same again. That's the part she can't escape. Because every time she sees a man who genuinely loves his woman, it reopens the wound. Every time she's alone at night, her mind replays the moment she chose wrong, and that memory doesn't fade. It becomes part of her story, whether she admits it or not. What comes next is something few women ever admit: the emotional aftershock. Once the denial fades, the guilt becomes unbearable. But instead of owning it, she often tries to outrun it. She'll distract herself with work, social life, even new relationships, anything to avoid silence, because silence forces her to confront what she's done and what she's lost. See, after cheating, there's always a moment of clarity. It might come weeks or months later, but it always arrives. Maybe she sees your name pop up on her phone and her stomach twists. Maybe she passes a place you both used to go, and suddenly she's hit with memories she thought she buried. That's when the truth sinks in. She didn't just lose a man. She lost a version of herself that was pure, secure, and whole. And this is the irony. Many women who cheat don't fully understand the emotional consequences until it's too late. They think it's about attention, validation, or feeling alive again. But what they don't realize is that cheating doesn't fill emptiness. It multiplies it. The brief thrill fades, but the emotional void expands. The biggest mistake she makes after cheating is trying to move forward as if nothing happened. But psychology doesn't work that way. The human mind keeps score. Her subconscious keeps replaying the moment of betrayal, analyzing it, trying to find justification. But there is none that brings peace. That's why you'll often see her oscillate between guilt and defensiveness. One moment she'll apologize. The next she'll say, "You pushed me to it." It's emotional whiplash, not because she's evil, but because she's internally fractured. This inner conflict is exhausting. It changes her energy, her face, even her voice. You can feel it when you talk to her, that hidden tension behind every word. She's not present anymore. She's performing. She might start talking about self-growth and finding herself. But beneath that language is avoidance. She's not healing. She's hiding. But what truly breaks her isn't the act itself. It's realizing that the man she betrayed was probably the only person who would have truly stayed. That realization doesn't hit all at once. It hits in pieces, in quiet moments when no one's watching, when her phone is silent and she can't distract herself anymore. That's when the truth lands. She didn't just cheat on a man, she cheated on the future she could have had. Now here's where the story turns darker. Because after cheating, and after the initial guilt fades, something far more destructive takes over: the ego defense. Instead of breaking down and rebuilding herself, she starts rewriting the story. She convinces herself she had no choice, that the relationship was already broken, that you didn't make her feel seen. It's not truth, it's survival, because the human mind can't live with unbearable guilt. It has to protect itself. So she crafts a narrative, one where she's the victim of her own decisions, and the more she repeats it, the more she starts to believe it. This is the biggest psychological trap women fall into after cheating. They turn betrayal into justification. They don't see that the story they're telling isn't healing them. It's keeping them stuck in emotional limbo. But here's what's fascinating. No matter how many excuses she creates, the truth always leaks through her behavior. You'll notice it in her body language, her tone, her inability to meet your eyes for long. She becomes hyper-defensive when questioned. She'll accuse you of being controlling or insecure when all you're doing is sensing her guilt. That's the paradox. The more she tries to appear over it, the more obvious it becomes that she's not. And this inner tension doesn't just affect her. It shapes every relationship she enters after. Because once someone betrays genuine love, they can't experience love the same way again. There's always a part of them waiting for something to go wrong, for someone to leave. It's psychological self-punishment disguised as independence. That's why so many women who cheat end up stuck in cycles of unstable connections. They crave emotional safety, but they don't trust themselves to deserve it anymore. She might start chasing men who don't value her, subconsciously seeking pain as a form of redemption. She'll confuse attention with affection, chemistry with connection, but nothing truly satisfies her because the wound isn't external, it's internal, and deep down, she knows it. That's why when she sees you, the man she betrayed, moving on, growing, glowing differently, something in her breaks again. It's not jealousy, it's recognition. She realizes you were the mirror that reflected her best self, and she shattered it with her own hands. That's the moment she understands. She didn't cheat because she stopped loving you. She cheated because she stopped loving herself. This is where regret becomes a slow, silent punishment, because after the excuses fade and her ego quiets down, she starts to feel the full weight of what she's done, not in a dramatic breakdown, but in quiet moments of reflection, the kind that hit late at night when she scrolls through old photos or hears a song that used to mean something. That's when the truth hits hardest. She betrayed the one person who would have gone to war for her. It's not the cheating itself that haunts her the most. It's the aftermath, the emotional emptiness that follows when she realizes the other person didn't care the way you did, that what she thought was connection was just temporary validation, a fleeting moment of feeling desired that vanished the second it was over. And now she's left with the echo of what she destroyed. You see, people assume the consequence of cheating is losing someone, but that's only half of it. The real consequence is losing who you were with that person. Every inside joke, every small act of love, every ordinary day that once felt safe, all of it turns into reminders of what can never be again. That's what keeps her awake at night, because love isn't replaced easily. You can find new faces, new conversations, even new forms of affection. But you can't recreate the energy that existed between two people who once trusted each other completely. So she tries to pretend she's healed. She smiles in photos, posts about moving on, maybe even dates someone new. But it's never the same, because deep down, she's chasing a feeling she herself destroyed. And no matter how many times she tells herself she's fine, her subconscious knows she's not. The hardest part? Watching you rise, watching you rebuild without her. That's when her regret turns into grief. She realizes she wasn't just replaced, she was left behind by her own choices. And that's a pain no one can fix for her. Because deep down, she knows that if she had just paused, if she had just faced her dissatisfaction instead of escaping it, she might still have the love she now misses more than anything. But that's the brutal truth. Once betrayal leaves your lips and enters your reality, you can't undo it. You can only live with it and hope one day it teaches you what loyalty really meant. In the end, every woman who cheats faces the same unspoken truth. She doesn't just lose a man, she loses her peace. And peace, once broken by betrayal, doesn't return easily. She can forgive herself 1,000 times in her mind, but her heart won't forget. It will remind her in subtle, cruel ways, in the emptiness after a party, in the silence of a morning without your voice, in the comfort she no longer feels when someone holds her. What most don't understand is that cheating rewires emotional memory. The moment she crossed that line, her nervous system registered it as a trauma, not just yours, but hers. Every time she tries to love again, that memory lingers like static in the background. It makes her doubt, overthink, pull away before she gets hurt, because on some level, she doesn't trust herself anymore. And that's the quiet tragedy of it all. She became the thing she swore she'd never be. But the biggest mistake women make after cheating is pretending they can move forward without confronting their shadow. You can't build peace on top of unhealed guilt. You can't find genuine love while you're still punishing yourself for the last one. And yet, so many do. They jump into healing phases filled with distractions, spirituality, or new partners. But none of it sticks, because healing isn't found in escape, it's found in ownership. If she ever truly heals, it won't be because time passed. It'll be because she finally faced the woman in the mirror, the one who made the choice, the one who paid the price, and the one who still wants to be forgiven, not by others, but by herself. And here's the truth most men never see. Some women spend years silently regretting the one they betrayed, not because they can't find someone else, but because they realize no one else ever looked at them the way he did, with pure belief, with unconditional safety. And once that gaze is gone, they crave it for the rest of their lives. So if you've ever been cheated on, understand this. It wasn't your failure, it was her collapse, her inability to face her emptiness without running from it. And while she may never say it aloud, she knows the day she cheated, she didn't just lose you. She lost the version of herself that was worthy of you. and that's a truth she'll carry forever.